Hi everybody, today is Monday, August 29th, and sadly, summer here in New Jersey is slowly coming to an end. Even though I love, the start of like that cool breeze in the morning, not so hot and humid, I have to say that I'm sad summer's coming to an end. I really love the hot weather. I love the available produce in the summer and just the more relaxed feeling. Also, I often take trips during the summer. It's fun to travel and, really just going to miss the summer months. So what I thought today I would do a short video on just the trip that I took this summer and how to make really good choices with your food when you travel. Even if you already did your traveling for the summer, this is something good to think about in future travels. And I'm sure many of you, still make weekend trips and, or just, travel during the rest of the year, even though summer is a big time for traveling as well. So I wanted to talk about some of my tips and how I navigated through the food on my trip. I actually went with my husband to Canada. We went to Montreal and Quebec City, had a great time. And I have to say that this was one of the most enjoyable trips food-wise, not because there was so much availability. There actually wasn't Whole Foods in the area, which, we are used to having here and enjoy going when we travel other places. But I feel like I was very prepared this time and I wanted to go over some of the things that I did so that, you could maybe do on your next trip. So number one is to be prepared and do your research ahead of time. So, I knew where we were going to stay and I wanted to find what were some good, first of all, good restaurants to eat at and good health food stores to buy things that we could kind of take with us. So that's my tip for number one. Do research on where you're going. So what I did was I typed in, vegetarian restaurants in Montreal. Now, even if you're not a vegetarian, but you want a healthy meal, sometimes that's a good place to start. Because a lot of times vegetarian restaurants will have lots of good fresh ingredients and good things, healthy meal options no matter what kind of eater you are. You also have to be careful too though, because there are a lot of restaurants that say vegetarian and maybe they are, but they're not necessarily healthy. So you kind of have to go to the website, check out their menu and see if there are things on it that you want to eat. So I was really happy to see that in Montreal there's a raw food restaurant. And, I marked that on my list. And I also found a couple other vegan, vegetarian restaurants. As well as a juice bar, liquid nutrition, and a health food store. So I found a couple of things. What I did was I just kind of made it on a Word document, typed them up. I wrote down the address, phone number, and even, sometimes I'll MapQuest it to see how far it is from the hotel we're staying. So to see if we can walk it, how far of a drive it's going to be. We actually had our car with us, so that was nice too. But we actually walked everywhere. It was really nice that we were able to walk to all the restaurants that we wanted to eat at. So that's definitely my tip for number one. Tip number two is to, also goes along with being prepared, is to bring things with you. So things that, like more kind of snack type things that you can munch, if you have a long car ride or, if you're taking a plane and you have a long flight, you don't know how long you're going to be in the airport. So what I did was we made these delicious oat bars that actually I turned them into little cupcakes or muffins. So I actually made a double batch of those and we brought a nice big cooler, so I put those in. Nuts and seeds are always a great thing to bring with you, dried fruit, and Lara bars, things like that are always like a great thing to bring. You just want to be careful that you're not munching on them the whole time. I've had trips before where I had a lot of fruit and nuts, And then I just feel really weighed down and didn't enjoy myself as much. So this time I was happy that I felt like I had a really good balance, even bringing different things with us. Another thing that I brought was this sandwich with an almond nut pate, sliced cucumbers, red pepper, on this gluten-free bread, and kind of package those up and put them in the cooler too. And those were great for when we stopped for lunch, on the way, as well as I think, it's something they can even keep for the next day. We brought this cooler with us, which was great, filled it up with ice, and then at the hotel they had ice, also. So we were able to kind of empty out the water and fill it more ice and put other things in there. So, if you have a fridge at your hotel, that's even better. But since we were driving up, we brought it with us, and it came in handy because we didn't get a hotel room with the fridge. So, you definitely want to bring things with you, and things like I said, homemade granola bars or muffins are great. Nuts, fresh fruit also is wonderful too. If you can bring it to where you're going, bring bananas, hold really well, and if you can, apples and other fresh fruit is another really great thing to bring. So that's my tip number 2. And then tip number 3 is to really enjoy yourself and not stress out so much about it. In trips past, I really would stress out over what I was going to eat, and I think what made this one so much more enjoyable was that I didn't really do that. I mean, I was conscious in the fact that, I wanted good meals and good snacks, but I didn't, I wasn't so obsessed over, everything either having to be raw or everything having to be vegan. If that's something that, is very important to you, like being vegan, you can still do that. But I think what you want to do is find a balance. You don't want to be too stressed out because, first of all, I believe that stress is the number one killer, and you're not going to enjoy your trip. So I think, enjoying ourselves, that's what life's all about. But at the same time, you want to feel good and be healthy enough to enjoy yourself. And I know for myself, if I'm not eating well, I'm not going to enjoy my trip. So you want to eat well, but at the same time, I kind of relaxed a little bit, and I wasn't so paranoid over, everything that I was eating. Obviously it wasn't what I would make at home, but, I think overall I found some really good meals. Um, that were, satisfying and nutritious, and I had lots of energy because this trip was definitely one for walking around a lot. And I just felt really great, not weighed down, or tired at all. So, I hope that you'll kind of keep those tips in mind in your next trip, and I will see you in the next video.